Do you love that fuzzy halo that you get when you add mohair silk lace weight to your knitting? Or are you in the camp that would rather not do that? After all, mohair can blur your beautiful stitches, and to some people it just feels a little prickly. And if you've ever had to rip it out, you know that's not an easy task. Mohair is definitely sticky and it loves to grab onto its neighboring yarn. I was in that second camp until just a few months ago, but I may be changing my ways. Stick around to the end as we explore mohair silk and the other fuzzy option, Suri Silk. Both are lace weight yarns that can add a little fuzz to your knitting. I'm Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits, and I want to thank you for joining me today as we talk about mohair and Suri. Please let me know your experience with adding some fuzz to your knitting. Is it something that you do often or sometimes, or do you just think it's crazy or irritating? Today I'm going to show you my Luxe Eyelet Poncho. This is a new redone pattern that I originally designed years ago, but will be re-releasing in the next few months. It is knit with fingering held double with a single strand of silk mohair lace weight yarn. Last year I bought this plain green dress. It was like a tank top, but it had pockets and it flared out at the skirt. I got it at Target. It's on knit fabric, and I bought it to wear to an October wedding. This is the time of the year, of course. Could be warm, could be freezing. Anyway, I knew that I probably needed a little something to cover my shoulders, so I cast on this poncho with some stash yarn. The main yarn was really deep stash yarn from Alpaca with a Twist, and the yarn is called Socrates, and it's a fingering weight alpaca nylon blend, and I paired that with Knitty McPurley Munich mohair in my favorite colorway of hers, which is Meadow. So this is a pretty simple eyelet pattern. It starts from the top down and gets larger as it progresses to the bottom. And I use a combination of increases and progressively larger needle sizes to create the flare. Easily memorized lace pattern, easy to do in the car watching TV. Anyway, I was really happy with how it turned out and with the actual knitting. While I was knitting, the yarn didn't feel irritating or prickly or scratchy, and I never felt it getting in my eyes or sticking to my eyelashes. It wasn't an unpleasant experience at all, other than the fact that I ran out of yarn on our trip to Colorado. The poncho, I didn't decide what size I was going to do till I was in the truck, and I cast on for the large, extra large, and that uses just over a skein of fingering weight. And of course, I only wound one skein of the fingering. I did actually wind the two yarns together because I figured that it would be easier to deal with while knitting in the truck, pulling the trailer out to the mountains and then back home again. I just didn't take quite enough with me, so I had to finish the last inch or so once we returned from our trip. I wore the poncho to the wedding and to the reception, and it was the perfect complement to the dress. It was very comfortable to wear. There were no sleeves on the dress, so it was next to my skin on my arms, and I didn't feel any scratchiness or prickly feelings at all. I thought it was really, really comfortable to wear. I must not be very sensitive to mohair, but I know it does bother some people. Now, I know you don't always want a halo, and it does kind of blur your stitches, so it's best not to use the mohair with color work or with cables, or if you have a lot of texture in the pattern that you want to make sure that you see, because you spend all that time knitting those features, you want to be able to see it. But if you're making a sweater that's all over stockinette, adding the mohair can really elevate the look of the sweater. I did use two books when I was researching this video, The Knitter's Book of Yarn by Clara Parks and Fleece and Fiber Source Book by Deborah Robeson and Carol Acarius. Both books have sections on mohair and on alpaca, so if you want to dig a bit deeper into these fibers, I will link both those books in the description below and in the show notes on my website. The silk mohair is generally about 75% mohair, 25% silk. And if the mohair is especially fine, which means it's smaller in diameter, a smaller micron measurement, it's designated as superfine kid or kid. Again, if the manufacturer of the yarn uses superfine kid or kid, they will always put it on the label because those are good selling features. These fibers do come from young Angora goats. Mohair does have scales, but they're thinner and smoother than most wool, and that gives the mohair a luster or a slippery feel. There's no crimp, but it does have slight waves, so the individual fibers do have a little bit of elasticity. But adding the silk mitigates that elasticity and gives the fiber some strength too. When you pair the mohair lace with a smoother yarn, it affects your total gauge. And from looking at designers like Petite Knit that often write their patterns with a regular yarn paired with a silk mohair, it usually adds about 1 size to the yarn. Sometimes 2, but more often it seems to be 1. So a sport plus a silk mohair would equal a DK, or a fingering plus a silk mohair would equal a sport. As always, you need to knit a large swatch and launder the swatch as you would the sweater, let it dry, and then measure. I do have a video with my swatching method over on my KnitWiser channel, and I will put a link to that in the show notes below and on the show notes on my website. What if the silk mohair bothers you? Well, there's a really good alternative. Suri alpaca, or sometimes you see baby Suri alpaca with silk. The baby doesn't necessarily refer to the age of the animal, but it does refer to the fineness of the fiber. The fibers that are smallest in diameter are the softest, and they are designated as baby. There are just 2 types of alpaca, Suri alpaca and Huacaya, and most of the alpaca, like 90%, are Huacaya. Huacaya has a shorter staple length than the Suri, and it's got a good crimp, less scales than wool, but definitely has scales, and that is used for yarn that's just labeled alpaca. The Suri alpaca has long, silky locks that have very little crimp, and it's Suri that is combined with silk to be used as a substitute for silk mohair. And when you look at these 2 yarns in the skein, they look pretty similar. I'm going to grab both of these. Both are 50 grams. The Knitty McPurley Munich mohair is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, 459 yards. The Tactile Dactyle, 75% baby Suri alpaca, 25% silk, 460 yards. So they have slightly different amounts of silk, but the weight and the yardage is essentially the same. There's a couple of differences, but the biggest thing is the silk mohair can be a little scratchy to some people who are sensitive to it. And most people that are sensitive to this do not have the same reaction to the Suri. So when you look at the yarn, they look really similar. Both add some halo or haze. The mohair is a bit shinier, the alpaca is a little bit more matte, and they both add that haze that really zhuzhes up otherwise plain fabric. The Suri does seem to add more girth to the final yarn. So rather than a sport plus mohair equals DK, the Suri is often a fingering plus Suri equals DK. Every yarn can be different, so swatching is still very important. My Ranuculus over here is made of a fingering weight sock yarn with the Tactile Dactyle Suri Silk alpaca. And this pattern calls for really large needles. It uses size 10 needles no matter what size of yarn you're using. But the fuzz on this alpaca really does fill in much of the space. This really is about a DK weight yarn, so a bit heavier than sport. But the bottom line is silk mohair and Suri alpaca are Both great ways to dress up a sweater that otherwise might be plain. While the yarn weight and the yardage is about the same, the Suri usually works up 2 yarn sizes larger, and the Mohair just adds 1 yarn size. Let me know if you get those same results when you add Mohair or Suri. I'm interested in your experience with these yarns, as you probably have done it more often than I have. I'm just getting started with this. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about adding Mohair or Suri. Do you find the Mohair prickly or scratchy, or does it not bother you at all? Do you add it and then just wear something under the sweater? Don't be like me though. I didn't think I liked that haze or halo, so I didn't try it for years. But I encourage you to give it a try on your next basic sweater. You may come to love it as much as I do. Thanks so much for watching. If you got some value from today's video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell if you haven't done that already. Subscribing is free, and it just ensures that you'll see any upcoming videos that I have. Here's another video that I think you will enjoy.